Welcome to my designer class. My name is Mercy and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to tap on the bell for notifications. This tutorial features the Stampin' Up! Hostess set, Feathery Friends. The card has a fun pop-up message when you open it. Ta-da! Anyhow, on the inside of the card, on the left side, I have stamped the flower image. I'm going to set this aside now and show you an uncolored image. And here we have the flower image. Actually, this is the front of the card. So I will set that aside and start with the inside, like I was saying. Anyhow, okay, so here I stamped the inside, and I took it's like a second card inside a card, is the best way to explain it. And in order to create the border, I cut the card at 8 1/4 by 5 1/4. And I scored down the center at 4 1/8. From the center, first I scored it here, and then I needed to measure with a ruler left to center 2 1/4 and then 2 1/4. And I scored with the Stampin' trimmer, which I will show you here. So basically what I did was I put it inside and I lined it up, and I had a dot here, so but I lined it up and scored it like that on both sides. And it's not too exact, but I think it comes out pretty well. And if you do make a mistake, there is some forgiveness because you can always trim it to fix any problems. So anyhow, I will go ahead and finish scoring this by using my Stampin' trimmer like this. And actually, and this is not my Stampin' trimmer, my bone folder, excuse me. So you get a nice crisp line. All right. That shows you that, and next I will talk a little bit about coloring, how I colored this and how I went about deciding my colors. Here we have the colors, and I used primarily the blends, but two of the colors I actually chose to use the Stamp Right markers. And one reason for using the Tranquil Tide is that's not offered, it's in color with the blends. And the reason why I used the Rich Razzleberry instead of the blend in the Rich Razzleberry was because some of the details I didn't want to blend, like these little dots here. And on the male bird, I didn't want these teardrops to blend. So I went ahead and colored those because it takes a long time. The set features a lot of coloring, and that can get very tedious to watch unless you can speed it up, which I don't know how to do that yet. Hopefully I will be able to do that sometime soon. Okay, so I will get right to it and we will start my card. Here is the front of the card, and with the front I am putting it on Tranquil Tide cardstock, and you will not see that center, so I will use that for a different project. I like using the tear tape, which I've already attached here, and attach it to the center of this card. One of the tips I have for stamping this is make sure that you try to center this sort of so it's in the top half. It's a little lower, which is okay, and also try to have this lower portion of the vine horizontal so you can do the hello in a more or less straight fashion. It doesn't have to be, and it is a forgiving card, so just something to keep in mind. I will go ahead and attach it to my front of the card base, and then we'll move to the center of the card. I like, as I mentioned, using the tear tape if it's a fairly large area so that we do not have to worry about it coming loose. I think some of the other tapes aren't quite as strong enough for that task. Okay, so there we go, and I will set these markers aside and go ahead and adhere the inside of the card. So right here is my inside of my card. And again, I'll use the tear tape, which I neglected to put some on, and attach it real quick here. So I just put a little bit in each corner, like so. I like, just make sure that you do not put any tape in this part of the card. And these are a little tricky to get off sometimes, but it's okay. It's all good. Some of the other stamp sets I used, actually it's just one other, which was the Eastern Beauty, and I also used the oval framelits. Now when attaching this, be sure to have it very flat. Don't try to worry about this pop-up part. It will come right back up, and you'll see shortly. So it's just like that, like that. And I will go ahead and attach my image, my sentiment here. And as you can see, I have the tape only on the one side, and that's very important because you want it to be able to fold down in. Okay. Again, I like to make sure I have it really centered here. And just pop it down, and then there. So you can see how it can close and then open. All right, on the front, I will attach the little birdies, and to attach them, I use the Stampin' Dimensionals. So I actually do cut some of them in half. This works well for the smaller areas. I know you can get the mini ones, but this works for me, and I only have to get one type then. So this is the boy bird, and I put him down here. And then for the girl, she will go in the top right-hand corner. And we will get this card made in no time flat, thanks to coloring ahead of time. Okay, right up here she goes. I used the rhinestones to embellish, and I will quickly do that. And then, okay. I'll use a couple smaller ones up here. And I do like following the rule of 3 for embellishments. It doesn't need a lot here. This is in many ways, a very busy card. So there you have the card. And in order to create a little bit more interest, I sponge the edges. I don't know if you can see that, and that's a really simple technique which I'll quickly demonstrate, and then we'll wrap this up. Okay, so for sponging, just catch the edges, and it's pretty simple and straightforward. Okay, all right. Thank you for watching my tutorial. And I wanted to show one other example of the same card. And in this one, I embellished it a little bit differently. I used the sequence that was included in Color Me Happy, which is right here, to add some interest. And I also used Rich Razzleberry base cardstock. But I kind of felt like that by using the crumb cake, it softened it and it wasn't as busy. So that concludes my card making tutorial. Thank you for watching again, and I hope to earn your business. Please follow the link below to my online store. Happy stamping!